Hello, welcome to the Dad Reads with me, David. Sorry, I've just come home and it's really cold, but I think I'm getting a bit warmer now, so I'll take these off. But that's what today's story is all about being cold. The story is called Papa Penguin, and it's by Lindsay Camp and Momoko Abe. So read what it's about. Exactly. Papa Penguin. At bedtime, Sam feels a bit sad. His dad isn't home yet, so he won't be able to tell Sam a story. Sam's dad is brilliant at telling stories. He makes them up himself. Sam's favourites are about dinosaurs with superpowers. But tonight, Sam's dad is late, so no made up story for Sam. Just as he climbs into bed, Sam hears something. He hears the front door opening and big heavy feet pounding up the stairs, 2 at a time. Phew, says Sam's dad, bursting into the room. Just made it in time. Says Sam quietly. What's up? Asks his dad, sitting on the bed. Are you okay? Yes, said Sam. Then why the long face? I thought you weren't going to be home in time to tell me a story. But I am, says Sam's dad, so there's no need to look sad. No, says Sam, but he still sounds a bit sad. I know what would cheer you up, says his dad. A story about Captain Triceratops. No, says Sam, not today. I want a different story. Sam's dad looks surprised. Okay, what about? You decide, says Sam. His dad thinks for a moment, rubbing his chin. All right, he says, I'm going to tell you a story about a penguin. Did the penguin have any superpowers? Asks Sam. No, says his dad. Or was he a world champion at anything? No, he was just an ordinary penguin. An ordinary daddy penguin. Papa penguin. Well, what did he do? Asks Sam. He must have done something, or there wouldn't be a proper story. Yes, says Sam's dad. He did do something. Something amazing. Shall I tell you what it was? Okay, says Sam, snuggling down and closing his eyes. Well, this Papa Penguin had an egg. Did he lay the egg? Asks Sam, opening his eyes again. Sam's dad laughs. That would be amazing. No, it was the mommy penguin who did that. But as soon as she laid the egg, she went off to sea to find some fish to eat. So she left the egg with the daddy penguin to look after. That's right, says Sam's dad. And do you know what he did with it? No, what? He balanced it on top of his feet so that it wouldn't get too cold on the ice. Now Sam laughs. How could Papa Penguin walk if he had an egg balanced on his feet? He couldn't. He could hardly move at all. All he could do was stand there and try his best to keep the egg warm so that the penguin chick inside would hatch out safely. But what did he have to eat? Says Sam. Did Mummy Penguin come back with some fish? No, says Sam's dad. She was away at sea for weeks and weeks, so the daddy penguin got very, very hungry. Very hungry indeed, and very, very cold too. Poor Papa Penguin. Did anyone help him look after the egg? Says Sam. No, says his dad. He didn't need any help. It was his egg, so it was his job to look after it. So what happened then? Says Sam. Nothing, says his dad. Nothing, says Sam. Something must have happened. Did aliens land on the ice? No, says his dad. No aliens. Papa Penguin just stood there, with the egg, balanced on his feet, trying his best to keep the chick inside safe and warm, while the icy blizzards blew and blew, harder and harder, colder and colder. Then what happened? Says Sam, yawning sleepily. Nothing. Papa Penguin just went on, standing there in the freezing winds, day after day, night after night, for weeks and weeks, hardly moving at all, and getting hungrier and hungrier until then at last the egg hatched and he saw his chick. Sam could hardly keep his eyes open. Was the chick magical? Could it fly faster than a supersonic jet? No, penguins can't fly. It was just an ordinary penguin chick, all covered in fluff. Was it a boy or a girl? Asked Sam. It was a boy. A beautiful baby boy chick. And then what happened? Says Sam, but his voice sounds muffled and far away. And then Mummy Penguin came back, says Sam's dad. And it was the hungry Daddy Penguin's turn to swim out to sea and catch some fish. But of course he came back as soon as he could, because Papa Penguin loved his beautiful baby boy chick. Sam doesn't say anything at all. Night, night, whispers his dad, pulling Sam's quilt up to keep him warm. But Sam isn't quite asleep yet. Dad, he murmurs into his pillow, will you tell me about Papa Penguin and his boy chick again tomorrow? Of course I will, says Dad. I promise. The end. Now, there are some facts about penguins on the back. So one is emperor penguins live in Antarctica in the southern hemisphere, which is down now. And just like in the book, penguins do pass on, the mama penguin passes on the egg to the papa penguin and he looks after it for a while, and the egg can't sit on the floor because within seconds the baby will freeze, and that's not really good for the baby. So yeah, so do you have someone read stories to you at night? Does your daddy or does your mommy come back from work late at night and do you look forward to seeing them? Unfortunately, I've got no one at home waiting for me. Well, Luna waits for me, but she's not quite the same as my children. But yeah, it's really nice to have someone there for you, waiting for you, looking after you. And parents do so much for their children, just like Mama and Papa Penguin did. So it might be a nice thing to say, to show your appreciation, and maybe give them a hug and a kiss and say how much you appreciate them. And if Mummy and Daddy aren't with you or not at home, maybe you can give it to Nana or Granddad or Auntie or Uncle, that person special in your life. Anyway, if you're liking these stories and you want to hear more of what I'm reading to you, please like and subscribe, because it really helps me out. Okay, until next time, bye for now.